Kansas in gray uniforms tonight have the game's first possession. The ball in the hand of Shaquille Moore. A big game for him tonight.
Absolutely. Off the bat, just want to be steady, not make any mistakes that are too aggressive early.
Hunter Dickinson to the left hand, left it short. Badunga going over the back of Hall. It goes out of bounds in his last touch by UCF.
I think a great way, as they did, to steady everything is going to Dickerson early, try and have that inside presence.
UCF coming off arguably their most complete game of the season, winning by 27 over TCU. Badunga with the left hand scores. Fourth straight start for Flory, and he's been a big addition to that lineup.
Absolutely, and UCF starts 4 guards, which can be an advantage in some ways, but the reality is with 2 bigs for Kansas, that's going to be an interesting matchup.
They're almost starting 5, and if UCF can get Keyshawn Hall hot, we know what he can do. He has a 40-point game this year against Arizona State.
His last game against TCU, the first 3 times he touched the basketball were all made threes.
Griffin back in the lineup tonight without DeJuan Harris, making his 8th start, and coming off a great shooting game when he tied a career high with 5 made threes against Houston. Tom hands off. Ivy Carter 3. A little bit long, and the long rebound back out to Jordan Ivy Curry. 3 left side. This one from the veteran, Darius Johnson. And 2 made threes for UCF to start the game.
Well, it's obvious, and they need to have the mindset. They cannot be scared of taking shots, and those are the problem for Kansas is those are open looks. They have 3 clean looks from 3, and that can't happen.
Mayo a 3, answering for KU. Zeke did not have a great 3-point shooting game against Houston. Went 1 for 8 beyond the arc. A kick by Moore, so it stays with UCF. Already 4 lead changes in this game, and we haven't even played 2 minutes. Hall got stripped by Badunga. He's got more with him. Lead Shaq. Lob!
One thing that cannot happen for UCF, probably top of the list, is live ball turnovers. You can't let Kansas get out on the break and have highlight dunks and ignite this crowd.
A quick 4 for Badunga. Kansas has hit their last 4 from the floor. Cham, the big man, will shoot a 3, and that's way off the right side. That's a 29 3 he's attempted this year. Mayo, pocket pass, Dickinson, in and out. Can't get it to go down, but he'll shoot 2 as Mustafa Cham picks up the personal.
On-ball defense, great anticipation, great hands, and then running the floor. Badunga doing a great job finishing right there, and a heck of a pass.
I don't think there's any doubt that Badunga's history as a soccer player growing up helps his feet, but he's got the quick hands as well. He has to have been some kind of find here for KU defensively with all this extra responsibility on him.
Absolutely, and when they're playing 2 bigs and they're playing defensively against 4 guards, he's going to have to play a perimeter player, really slide his feet, and then use his length to his advantage.
Hunter hits both. He's now hit 19 consecutive free throws, and a quick whistle and a foul on Moore. So again, without DeJuan Harris, Moore's got to watch the foul issue. They definitely need Shaquille Moore on the floor. He averages basically backing up DeJuan Harris. They may need 25 minutes out of him tonight.
No question, which means stay out of foul trouble. And Johnson with the basketball right there is so smart and understands that. I wouldn't be surprised if he's very, very aggressive when Moore's on him.
Cham, short jumper there from the left side. Rattles at home for the 7'2" freshman. He's just 18 years old. Moore trying to feed Dickinson. Just kind of flipped it up off the backboard, but it was short. Here comes Hall. Kansas gets back well defensively. Firing it down low, but they forgot about Mustafa Cham.
Well, in Kansas right now, they're going to double Hall in the post, which means he's going to turn into a passer some, and that's a great example.
Mayo. Badunga facing up on Hall. Mayo looking to get it in the air, up and good. That's 5 for Mayo.
Kansas is off to a really comfortable start offensively, and Central Florida is going to have to do something to make them uncomfortable.
That's a clean block by Badunga. Moore races down. Shaq pulls it back. Deep three, Zeke.
Tell you what, a block shot like that has the exact same effect of a live ball turnover. It starts the fast break. That turned into kind of a secondary break. But boy, they are playing with a lot of confidence and a lot of comfort on the offensive end.
Kansas 6 of 8 from the field to start tonight. Hall, the lefty, fires. Got another, his second of the game.
I keep saying that the comfort level with both teams right now is very, very high, which is great on the offensive end, but both teams defensively need to find ways to get some stops.
Mayo tries another. Well, he didn't have a great three-point shooting day on Saturday, but he's off to a great start tonight, and he's got 11.
Well, he started so well, and Ivy Curry went under the ball screen, and you just can't do that with that kind of a shooter.
Threes raining down in Lawrence on this Tuesday night. Darius Johnson hammers one home. UCF hanging in a one-possession game.
Ivy Curry going over the top now on these screens. He's learned his lesson.
Mayo, screen from Badunga, trying to get it back to him. Trapped. Dickinson.
Chom did a nice job altering that shot. He's a shot blocker, and that will not go down as a block shot, but he altered that shot and made the miss.
Jab step. Hall is going to use the dribble on Badunga. Johnson, another three. Hit the heel, batted around to Flory. Hunter and Chom spins, helped by Hall, but there's Dickinson to readjust and lay it in with that left hand. He's got 4.
You know, that's a veteran. You know, and Chom is a great player. He's going to get better and better, but lack of experience. The ball fakes and the ball movement right there by Dickerson gets him a wide open shot.
Chom, baseline jumper again, and he hits another. What an offensive start, really, for both teams. We're at the under 16 timeout, still waiting. We're 2 minutes past that, still playing. Zeke, another little heat check there. Here comes Hall and the Knights. Darius trying to get by Badunga, does, circles, gets it to the corner, 3, hit the heel, that time from Jordan Ivy Curry. UCF still 7 of 12 from the field to start this game, and the threes raining down so far, Jerry.
Both teams have a comfort level offensively. Both teams are shooting threes with great confidence, and they're wide open, some of these. They're continuing to let them fly. 21 points and 18 points before the first TV timeout.
Back on the 15th at Iowa State, a collision with Demarion Watson. We'll see number 4 come in, separated his right shoulder. He actually did come back later in that game to try to play, but then left once again. Had not played since then. Was clear today. He's going to come in. And when we asked Bill Self how many minutes for KJ, he said that's to be determined. He didn't anticipate it would be 25 or 30, but he says don't rule it out completely.
Well, and with Harris out, I think the idea of KJ Adams being a stabilizer, giving the other guys on the team confidence, they've seen him out there, I think he can provide a big impact in that way.
Crowd reacts as they see KJ take the floor. Out of the timeout, UCF ball, and Jared, you were mentioning that Kansas has elected to double Hall at times. That's freed up some shooters. There's a foul on Moore. That's number 2. And that is significant now. What does Bill Self do without DeJuan Harris tonight? And his starting point guard just picked up his second foul with a lot of time left in the first half.
Well, it's going to provide some opportunities for other players, but somebody's going to have to step up. This puts them in a really tough situation.
And it's going to be a freshman, Raquise Passmore, coming in. That second foul by Shaquille Moore is going to put the freshman in the spotlight. Here comes Raquise, who last played in the K-State game on the 18th. Came off the bench, played 5 minutes. So the true freshman from Florida in this game.
You know, with Harris out, obviously in the last game he had 12 assists and 1 turnover, so you obviously missed that. But on the defensive end, with 19 points for UCF in the first 5 and 7 minutes here, you wonder defensively how much they're missing Harris.
And Passmore throws it away on the first possession. A miss on the drive by Johnson, and it's out to Kansas. And KU fortunate they didn't give up points off turnover there. So Bill Self having to go to his bench already. To the loss to Houston on Saturday. And he called it, you know, besides the AC Law game was what he mentioned when Texas A&M came in and took a win. That's about as devastating a loss as they have had at home under Bill Self. As Ivy Curry picks up his first. If you are UCF and you now see Passmore in the game, how does that affect how you play him?
Well, this is, you know, scouting report driven. They've gone over this. I would expect them to pressure him some. You know, they have to do it without fouling. The big 3 perimeter players for UCF, they need to be on the floor, and they can't have silly fouls like Ivy Curry did on that one.
You got Diggy David Coit in the game as well, and now he turns it over. After Benny Williams got a hand in the passing lane, and a 3 is good from Darius Johnson. So timeout, Bill Self in Kansas. The second foul on Shaquille Moore.
Defense rebounded well, and it really was a very complete game for them. And now they're trying to build on that momentum and carry it into the field house.
UCF never trailed in that game to TCU and won it by 27. Mayo stripped by Johnson. 3rd Kansas turnover, and they've come in bunches here suddenly. And now Mayo commits the foul. And I don't think it's any coincidence here, since Moore has left the floor. Kansas has seemed discombobulated on both sides.
No question. So you have 2 of your floor generals not on the floor. It's going to be something that everybody has to get in line right now. Maybe play through the bigs a little bit more, but some way, somehow, there has to be some level of, some fluidity on the offensive end.
You know, if you're just joining us, Kansas without DeJuan Harris, who was a late scratch, tweaked his ankle yesterday in practice. He had started 98 consecutive games for KU. That streak ends tonight. 3, Hall. Good defense there by Adams. Forced him to take a long 3. Up ahead for Mayo. Dangerous pass by Coit. That's stolen. Kansas now 4 turnovers in their last 4 possessions. And a block the other way comes Mayo. Zeke going to take it himself. And a 1 and done for Kansas. 3, Johnson. Got it. Swish.
The turnovers for Kansas right now, they got a shot last possession, but like you mentioned, 4 turnovers in a row cannot happen. And look at them sit in Hunter Dickinson's lap. They're not doubling, but they're trying to throw people into his lap and crowd him in the post.
Coit chased by Debo Coleman, and Coit hits a big shot for Kansas, who needed that after going without points their last 4 possessions.
Coit has struggled in conference shooting the basketball, but he was out here an hour before shoot around today, and he was shooting the heck out of it, building his confidence up.
Hall lost it off his leg. Kansas ball. A lot of storylines floating around Lawrence on this Tuesday night. UCF has the 1-point lead about midway through the first.
Everybody in the country runs ball screen actions. Very, very few do it better than Kansas. One of the reasons they have good personnel. All right, they have good point guards. They have bigs with good hands rolling to the basket. The other thing is they have a naked side. I mean, there's nobody in the corner. Badunga gets a dunk there, and then on the second possession, same thing. A naked corner, which means help defense is not there. If they do want to help, it's covering a ton of distance. Griffin goes from the wing all the way down to the corner. They overhelp. Griffin ends up getting a wide open 3 right there. So great space in ball screen situations, and also great personnel.
And that is all still very relevant tonight, Jared. But the fact that it's not DeJuan Harris triggering those means what?
It means either somebody's going to have to step up and do the same thing. Otherwise, adjust your offensive plan just a bit.
1-point lead for UCF. Mayo off to a hot start, by the way, 11 points.
To that point, Mayo has been very, very aggressive, and I think we're going to continue to see that. They just need to make sure that they don't forget about Dickerson as the game goes on.
Hunter Dickinson, 4 points on 1 of 4 shooting. There's DeJuan Harris, again out tonight. Tweaked an ankle, ending his consecutive start streak. He had started 98 games in a row for Kansas. Mayo fires it behind KJ, and that's 5 turnovers for KU. Running out the other way, Debo Coleman is fouled driving to the rim.
In the opening, we talked about Harris being out. You know, now we're seeing really the 4th ball handler. With Mayo as the ball handler, it's a good pick and roll, but at the end of the day, that's not your primary ball handler. That's not Harris, that's not Moore, and so you're going 3, 4 deep at the point guard position. So it's not necessarily a different situation, it's a different personnel package.
And now Mayo has 2 fouls. Make that, they gave it to Griffin, so Griffin is going to come out. So Ryland takes a seat for KU as Coit has come back.
As much as anything for Bill Self is trying to find the right mix. You know, the secret sauce of the 5 guys out there together trying to get chemistry, because he's trying lineups that haven't played a lot together this year.
UCF, the best free throw shooting team in the Big 12. It's a 27-24 coming up on the midway point of the first half. Mayo on the drive is fouled. Debo picks up his first. You look at UCF tonight. They've attempted 11 threes and 7 2-point shots, but the threes going down. For Johnny Dawkins' team, you got Darius Johnson's hit 4 of 5. Hall's hit 2 of 3. Here's Storr amongst a bunch of defenders, and we'll see which UCF player got the hand on him to pick up the personal. Put that on Benny Williams. His first. Here's a look at UCF tonight. Hey, if you're shooting the threes, Jared, and they're going in, you're going to keep shooting them.
Well, absolutely. And you get confidence from a variety of things. Number one is when the ball goes in, you're going to gain confidence. You know, you gain confidence from all the practice you've had. But I guarantee you, the staff is just oozing with confidence for these guys. They know in the field house they're going to have to shoot the ball well. They're going to have to shoot the ball with confidence. And Johnny Dawkins and his staff, I guarantee you, have told the guys, shoot that thing and don't look over your shoulder at me.
Storr hits a couple of free throws coming off a scoreless game against Houston on Saturday. KU showing a little token pressure in the backcourt. Dribble picked up by Mikey Williams. Johnson. Debo. 6 to shoot. Hall, 3, got it. And another made 3. Keyshawn Hall hits his 3rd of the game. He's got 9 points.
Just no hesitation. And then they get into their press, just a soft press, trying to take a few seconds off the clock.
Midway through the first half, UCF has their largest lead of the game of 4 points. Coit almost lost the dribble. Got it to Zeke Mayo. Badunga. Williams gets some help from Hall. Hot pass right to KJ's. Too hot and off his hands, and a turnover, number 6 for KU. Blocked by Badunga. Loose ball's grabbed by Mayo. Mayo weaving, shooting. It rims out. Pull-up 3 is on the way and missed by Mikey Williams, who's not hit a 3-point shot all season. He's now 0 for 7.
UCF is going to have a great deal of focus on Mayo right now.
Catch and shoot 3. David Coit, his 2nd of the game. He has 6.
That's a heck of a spark right now, and that's exactly what they needed. Some kind of a spark, and Coit is giving it to him.
Hall retrieves it. Darius Johnson, 3. Adams got enough of a hand in the face Dangerous pass, but Storr has it in a crowd. Tried to give it to KJ, and another one up off his shoulder, and it's the 7th Kansas turnover.
With UCF, they are letting it fly from the three-point line. They're going to continue doing that. But if they continue to make them, it'll start spreading out Kansas, and they'll start getting things at the rim as well.
Hall with the height advantage over Coit was able to go over the back, and the other way, Storr spinning, and is fouled by Benny Williams. Two quick fouls on Benny Williams for UCF. Syracuse transfer. Johnny Dawkins' team 46% from the field, 10 of 22, and had better than that from 3, 7 of 15 for 47%. Kansas has hit 5 of 6 of their three-point attempts tonight. Storr, who had hit 2 free throws a couple sequences ago, misses the first there. Cham comes back in for UCF. Hunter Dickinson returns for Kansas. One of 2 for Storr. And Bill Self is going to put Shaq Moore back in the game with 2 fouls with 8:07 to go.
This is where the last thing you tell them is just be careful. You know, if an aggressive play happens, you get a foul, that's fine, but don't get a silly foul by getting your hands in there. Be very, very smart.
7 made threes by UCF here in the first half, tied for the most they've made in the first half this season. Deep 3, missed by Coleman. Our first tie of the game at 30 with under 8 minutes to play in the first half. Mayo on the run, blind pass, Dickinson finishes it.
What a pass. Mayo drawing tons of attention, a great dish to Dickerson.
3 left side is short from Debo Coleman. Over the top, Hunter Dickinson with the left hand, can't finish that, bounced around out to Ivy Curry.
Dickerson with great position in transition. That's one he finishes 90% of the time.
UCF has missed their last 5 shots from the field. Cham a 3, a little long with a 3, but the long rebound, he gets it back. Ivy Curry. Coleman, second offensive board in this sequence for the Knights. This time, Dior Johnson. There will not be a 4th opportunity thanks to a Badunga rebound.
Well, if you don't know the offensive game plan for UCF by now, it's pretty obvious. Even after offensive rebounds, they're kicking it out. They are going to get their 3-point shots up.
Dickinson gets fouled, and a timeout with 6.5 to play.
Kansas moving the basketball, attacking downhill. Mayo with an unbelievable pass. Dickerson with great hands. Kansas by 2. Building, you're going to have to be able to make some of those shots, and they've been clean looks. You know, on the other end, Kansas, I think they're going to go to Dickinson inside. He's only 2 of 6 right now, but he's got a lot of deep post touches, and they're not doubling him. You know, they're choking and kind of putting some people near him, but I expect them to go back to Dickinson.
What has helped UCF, Kansas has turned it over 7 times, all since the 13-15 mark, which was the first time that Moore came out of the game with 2 fouls. Shaq has been back in playing with 2 over the last several minutes. Here is Moore. Drive got stripped from behind by Johnson. Darius Johnson creates the steal. 8 Kansas turnovers now. Ivy Curry in the lane. Here is Hall. He has 11 first half points.
Without Harris, you know, chemistry is a real thing, you know, and it's hard to describe. It's hard to give you the specifics, but the reality is the timing of the passes, the timing of your cuts, the pick and roll situations. Without Harris, there's going to be some learning curve right now.
Dickinson, left baseline, short, batted around, back to Hunter. And Rokas Yaksus in the game now Number 35 in black for UCF. Ball stripped out of Mayo's hands. Here comes Hall. Darius thought about that three.
Look for the double team.
Jumper a little bit long that time from Keyshawn Hall.
It might be in their best interest for UCF to continue to go to Hall in the post. It gives them a different look than just shooting three-point shots, and he can do some nice things down there as a scorer and a passer.
Coit feeds under Dickinson. He faces up on Yaksus. Got down low, but missed it. And there's missed a few bunnies here. Here's Ivy Curry. Jordan on the drive, and with the left hand finishes it. Timeout, Kansas. Bill Self uses his second timeout of the first half. And our seventh lead change of this first half puts UCF up by 2.
What we're seeing is Kansas is going into Dickinson. He's really getting some good looks. I don't think they're going to go away from that, and they shouldn't. Over the long haul, he's going to be able to get those touches, the deep post touches in particular, and he's going to knock those in. He's proven that time and time again.
Now Dickinson now 2 of 8 from the field, but drive there by Curry, Ivy Curry for his first bucket.
And if UCF can find some of those easy buckets, you know, an offensive rebound, a couple free throws, a couple of those looks in transition, you know, and then you start making a few threes. I mean, this is a dangerous situation to be in. And this is a game right now that the mental aspect is really interesting. Kansas went down to UCF, beat them by 51 on their home court. You know, so the mental game. UCF is coming off probably their best performance of the year. Kansas coming off really a gut-wrenching defeat. The psychological part of this is really interesting right now, and now you're in a dogfight.
Yeah, Kansas beat UCF by 51. As you mentioned, it came right after, as you see DeJuan Harris out tonight. It came right after West Virginia won by a point here in the conference opener. First time Kansas had lost the conference opener in 34 years. And now UCF gets them after Houston beats Kansas. There's a miss by Coit, and Niels Mahovsky. Germany's in the game. Now Mahovsky lost the ball. It's loose and grabbed by KJ Adams, who floats it ahead for Storr. AJ, the kiss, can't get it to fall, but he's fouled.
You know, Coit, that last possession, he's made a couple shots. He has confidence, but the reality is if Dickinson doesn't catch the basketball right now and touch it, and he doesn't have to shoot it, but offensively, if he doesn't touch it, it's going to be a tough possession for Kansas. They have to find ways. Maybe if Mayo gets a shot and gets a clean look, maybe that would be an exception, but they have to find ways to get the ball in and get touches to Dickinson.
AJ hits the first of 2. That was the 17th foul against UCF here in the first half. AJ hits both. And we're tied once again now at 34. Our third tie of this first half. Coleman looking. Ivy Curry catches and releases the 3 and drains it. He had missed his first 3 three-point attempts. Hits his first there, and now has 5 points.
Adams got caught on a screen just a little bit late. Those looks are too clean right now for UCF.
Storr to the rim. That rims out. Kansas able to get the offensive board. A dangerous pass by Griffin. It's volleyballed around into the stands and off Kansas. Kansas just having trouble keeping possession of the basketball here.
UCF up 3. Been a heck of a game. If you like offense, you're in the right spot. Country, but just the cohesion, making other players better. You're seeing the impact of not having them out there.
Kansas has not lost back-to-back home games in the Bill Self era. You have to go back about a quarter of a century to the early Roy Williams days to find the last time that has happened. Batted around into the corner and grabbed by AJ. Storr feeds KJ Adams, who drives, and that won't go. But he does get fouled. Kansas has not had a field goal in over 4 minutes. He's missed their last 6 shots. Again, part of the erratic Kansas offense so far tonight.
Well, in this building, you know, the hope is for Kansas to get a couple stops, get out in transition, you know, to find that rhythm. Once you get this crowd into the game, you know, and then that three-point shot happens and everybody else starts to feel comfortable. But at this point, when it gets out of whack like this a little bit, out of rhythm, it's not easy to just make it right.
Hey, speaking of this building, obviously Bill Self has a lot of success here. He's 323 and 20 at Allen Fieldhouse. But for UCF, everybody on that roster, including the head coach Johnny Dawkins, had never even stepped foot in Allen Fieldhouse until they practiced here last night. They're not intimidated right now.
They're not. They're not. And the crowd is doing what they can. You know, somebody made a comment to me that I had to chuckle. They said not only is the team tired from a long double overtime game, but the fans worked so hard, the fans were tired coming out of that Houston game.
Adams on Darius Johnson. Shot clock's at 7. Ivy Curry pull up, tough shot, hit the side of the backboard, and loose where Storr grabs it for Kansas. Inside of 3 minutes to go, first half in Lawrence, and swatted by Ivy Curry, but there's Dickinson, skips it into the corner. Griffin, it's well defended, but Dunga on Hall, dumps it underneath. Hunter tries to reverse, does so and scores. 8 now for Dickinson.
And Bidunga, he hasn't played a ton early in the year, and he's playing more and more. The chemistry with he and Dickinson is really, really good, and their passing ability is off the charts.
3, Hall fouled and got it. KJ commits the foul and a chance for a 4-point play for Keyshawn Hall, who has 14 points in the first half. This is a guy who had 40 against Arizona State, 29 in the first half.
Wow, his confidence is skyrocketing right now, and you just can't make that mistake of hitting on the elbow right there. But a 4-point play right now, getting close to halftime, is a big deal. And again, the discipline defensively, Adams in the right spot, just can't get his arm in there and touch his elbow.
KJ did not start the game, came off the bench, no question, with DeJuan Harris out, and then the foul issues Kansas has had at guard. It's been important to have KJ get some minutes here.
Absolutely, and I think you know, I think the second half he'll have a little better feel. Is, you know, a second wind, being out here for a half will help him.
Storr dribbles into the lane, floater, kicks off. Dickinson, offensive board, fouled.
It's a great job right there. We've seen a couple of the naked ball screens over here where nobody's in the corner. They're getting some decent looks, and then Dickinson, the last couple of possessions, gets one layup. Another time, he's not at 6 feet or 8 feet. He's at 2 feet, head under the rim, and there's nothing you can do with him there except for foul him. UCF offensively is not complex, but what they are is they're really efficient. And when you have 4 shooters out there, you really can spread the floor and try and get people to chase you.
Dickinson has hit his first 4 free throws tonight and his last 20 in a row.
Great hustle by Adams. We talk about Harris being a glue guy and making the things work. Adams is the same kind of a player. That deflection right there, trying to get the team going, trying to get the crowd excited.
Raced ahead by Darius Johnson. Debo's open 3. Dickinson rebound, but once again, Jared, there's an open look from 3-ball land for UCF.
And UCF is doing something most of the time in transition. People attack to attack the rim and look to get fouled. UCF in transition is attacking the paint and trying to find the 3-point line.
There's a 2-point shot. A bunch of shots for Kansas, rattling in and out down on this side of the floor. Under a minute and a half to go, first half in Lawrence. Hall jumper crashing in. Debo Coleman, but he's the one who touches it last, and it's Kansas ball.
It was the exact same thing. Transition offense, looking to get to the paint. It sucks the defense in tight because everybody in Kansas, they can go protect that rim. They're getting some good looks. UCF is getting some good looks in transition because they're attacking the paint and then kicking it out.
Well, UCF came in tonight as the last team in, according to Lenardi. A win at Allen Fieldhouse would certainly be a big lift for their resume. Another Kansas turnover. That's 10 here in the first half. And Hall able to adjust, even with Bidunga coming in to kiss that in. 17 in the first half for Keyshawn Hall, and UCF is back up by 3.
That last possession is simply chemistry. You know, the play wasn't wrong. Guys weren't doing the wrong things. It's just having a feel for each other, the timing. That's the rhythm and chemistry we're talking about.
Mayo stumbles, loose ball. Dickinson dribbles, skips it to Storr. 5 to shoot, 3 by AJ. Foul underneath as it looks like Dickinson was pushed by Yaxus. He gets his second.
Offensively, Bidunga, he's kind of rolling, kind of not rolling. It's a sixth sense. You know, when you have a point guard that's been out there for 98 straight games, he's gets everything on the same page. And right now they're missing that.
Kansas in the double bonus here now. So his streak is snapped at 20 consecutive made free throws.
UCF at this point is on pace to shoot over 45 three-point attempts. I don't think it's going to slow down.
They've been open looks, a lot of them.
Yeah, I mean, of all the things we've talked about of the struggles offensively for Kansas, the number one thing that has to be addressed is guarding the three-point line. If they shoot 45 threes, that's fine, but they have to be under duress. They can't be clean looks like they've been.
Let's see what Johnny Dawkins has drawn up for what possibly is the final possession of this first half.
I think Johnson's going to get downhill and look to make a play for somebody.
Here goes Darius. Hall. Down to 3. Blocked. Chom. It would count. It's long. And Kansas keeps the Knights off the board on that possession. But go to the half. Down by 2. Kansas has not lost back-to-back home games in the Bill Self area. You got to go back early in the Roy Williams tenure to find the last time they lost back-to-back home games. Chom, long 2 with a 7-footer. Chom has 8 points. He saw his minutes limited with 2 fouls in that first half.
And him out there, he adds another dynamic, especially defensively, but making a 15-footer to start.
Bidunga had to come down with the lob, reset, but has enough space to lay it in, and Flory with 6 points. Big first half for their leader, Darius Johnson. 3 up, swish. Well, might have hit a little bit of rim, but nonetheless, his 5th made 3 of the game.
I won't be surprised at some point if Kansas tries to increase their pressure, trying to get into UCF just a little bit more.
Largest lead of the game for the Knights. Moore comes off the Dickinson screen, gets it back to Hunter, who's well short with his shot. Chom rolls. Looking at Dickinson. 1 dribble. Jordan Ivy Curry, 11 to shoot, and he lets it fly and got another one. That's his second 3.
Yeah, I think we're going to see a lot more of that on that end of the floor. And then for Kansas, the last shot by Dickinson was a fantastic shot, but in a perfect world, he can get a little bit deeper, maybe a little bit deeper on his post-ups.
UCF now 11 of 26 3-point shooting. Mayo gives it up to KJ, and Adams' floater is short, but there was some contact there. And a whistle and a foul.
UCF is really doing a nice job with these high ball screens. Dickinson is having to shows for a little bit, but the Kansas guards need to be a little bit faster, a little bit quicker. They know they have to go over the ball screens because they're such good shooters, and Dickinson can't stay out there forever because they're rolling to the basket. So I put a lot of ownership on the guards needing to get back there a touch faster and challenging those 3-point shots.
Hunter tonight has 11 points on 3 of 10 shooting. Adams knocks him down. 4 points for KJ, his first game since separating his shoulder at Iowa State 3 games ago.
Kansas building out the pressure full court. I mean, it's token pressure, but it's still something that's a little bit more than they've been doing.
Hesitating, Ivy Curry able to get there and lay it in with the left hand. Quickly 10 points now for Jordan Ivy Curry, who just picked up his 2nd foul. Here, this is his last time down the floor. Mayo almost lost his dribble. Coit. Dickinson, a spin, another adjustment, and this time gets it up and in. 13 for Hunter.
All right, UCF, I think we're going to continue to see the 3-point shots, but I also now think that Kansas is not helping off the shooters. That last drive by Ivy Curry, there was no help from anybody else on Kansas because they're sucking out to those 3-point shooters. So we may start seeing a little bit more penetration right now by UCF.
First foul on Coit. UCF has hit their first 4 shots here in the second half. And we have 3 minutes gone. Cham, this one is a 3. Good. And the 3 ball continues to be there for UCF. And Cham with 11.
And with every minute that goes by, their confidence is going up and up and up.
And now they're flirting with a double-digit lead, up 9. Coit. Adams bounced around. Badunga back for Mayo. Adjusts and launches. A badly needed 3 for KU. 4th for Mayo is 4 of 5. Timeouts. KU. Hudson made 3s so far for UCF. 5 for Darius Johnson, 4 for Keyshawn Hall, and a couple from Jordan Ivy Curry. And yes, Cham has added 1 in this second half.
And everybody for Kansas wants to do their part. They want to be able to make the plays to get everybody back in the game. But their mindset has to be we. You know, it can't be one person going for 20 points this half or getting block shots every time. It's going to be a group effort on both ends of the floor.
Coleman, 3. Kansas rebound for Coit. Outlet for Mayo. Lob, Badunga. And there's a misconnect and the 11th Kansas turnover, first of this second half. Hall doubled. Johnson was open for a moment. Darius going to lean in. They play on. Ball's flipped in the air and taken by Kansas. Evidently, Darius Johnson was looking to get a foul called there and didn't get it. Dickinson and Cham, the big men, spin. Some help there from Hall. KJ off the right side. Curry lob that time for Cham, and now it's the Knights who can't connect it, and there's 6 turnover. Mayo eyes a 3. Well, Mayo's keeping them close.
Yeah, and he's the one guy that, you know, outside Dickinson that you want to have be aggressive right now. You know, both ends had a offensive lapse where they're throwing lobs that end up being turnovers.
Coleman off the heel. Hall, the rebound, back up. Foul by Dickinson. That's going to be the first on Hunter. That's the first foul on either Dickinson or Badunga. So the big men have been staying out of foul trouble for Kansas so far tonight.
Offensively, Kansas trying to find their range from deep. Mayo with the 3, down 3.
UCF was up by 9, which was their largest lead of the game at 56-47. Kansas 6 unanswered, both threes from Mayo. And when you were missing DeJuan Harris, who is the active D1 leader in career assists and games played, you're seeing the assist numbers go way down for Kansas, who's normally a team that really shares the ball well.
Absolutely. And I think if your name is not Mayo and you're on Kansas, you shouldn't be shooting a bunch of shots early unless Dickinson has the ball inside. I wouldn't be surprised if Kansas tries to go a little deeper in their playbook. The pick and rolls for Dickinson have not been effective, partly because the personnel changes. But find a way to get Dickinson those paint touches, maybe a little variety in the plays, lateral screens, somehow getting 2 feet in the paint.
Kansas nearly turned it back over there. Here's Coit to Dickinson. Hunter, one dribble, goes to the left hand. Ball off the deck, grabbed by Mayo, fires it off Darius Johnson to give Kansas the possession.
Look, but that's a great play call. They have a screen out front, but Dickinson's ducking in inside. They get him a deep post touch. That's a play that can be repeated, but it's going to help them win this game if they can do that continually.
Griffin, catch and shoot 3. Offensive rebound for Zeke Mayo. Mayo now eyes a 3. This will be run down by Debo Coleman. Here come the Knights. Lob, Cham underneath and almost went it off his hand, and now comes down with it. Went out of bounds with the ball, but a foul called first against Badunga.
UCF getting a little bit more aggressive in transition right now. Badunga running hard, throwing it up to him. But I like their mindset of attacking. They're doing nothing right now that is getting more conservative. UCF is getting more and more aggressive.
Cham, way off the left side. The long rebound out to Mayo. Mayo's hit 5 threes so far to keep Kansas in this game. A Dickinson long 2. Badunga an offensive rebound, and he's fouled underneath by Coleman.
Kansas knows they have an advantage on the boards. I think they're going to continue to be aggressive there. They already have an advantage in this game, but if the shots are not going to fall, that's one way to be able to get some easy putbacks or get to the free throw line.
Charged Mikey Williams with that foul. Badunga's at the line. He hits the free throw. He had really kind of a breakout game against Houston on Saturday. Had a career-high 19 points. 7 rebounds in his 36 minutes. This is the second, but they're going to call a lane violation, or no, it's a foul. A foul on UCF on Coleman. And Coleman does pick up a foul here. And Johnny Dawkins is like, huh? Where'd that come from?
I think they had a lane violation right there.
Okay.
So he's going to shoot
it was a lane
again.
violation. He said it was against Coleman, so that gives Flory another opportunity. Kansas's free throws, which were a problem against Houston, keeping them in the game. They're 16 of 18 from the line tonight. Wide open for Debo Coleman. Got it.
Unbelievable. And we're seeing Hall getting in the post a little bit more. I wouldn't be surprised. You know, he's such a threat outside, but he's really good inside, too. I think that could be something they go back to.
Coleman becomes the 5th different UCF player to make a 3 tonight. And here come the Knights looking to add with 6-point lead. Coleman again, this time from the left side. Hall, one dribble, back up, he's fouled.
That's Hall inside right there. Took a tough fall right there on his hip. But the mindset of UCF right now is so aggressive. I mean, they are sharing the basketball, they're running the floor, and they are not backing down.
Dickinson just picked up his 2nd. As Hall is helped to his feet.
It's always tough when you get up in the air like that, a little bit off balance, some awkward falls. Good to see he's up and back.
And he's now 4-4 from the line tonight. That gives him 20 points. Here comes Adams for Badunga for Kansas. Hall knocking both down. Lead is up to 8.
Consistent with the mindset offensively. They're now going to more of a diamond press, attacking an aggressive double team. That's the first time we've seen that tonight.
Handoff Griffin. Turns the corner. Goes underneath. Adams. Dickinson all alone.
Big to big interior passing. Finding ways to get a little bit of ball movement. Catching on the high post. Really nice pass by Adams.
Hall. Looks like he wants to take it himself. He does off the right side. A Chom rebound. Dickinson got a hand on that. Mayo floats it ahead for KJ. Adams lays it in. And one.
And the crowd is awake. That's exactly what Kansas needed. Getting on a break and getting a stop.
And what UCF did not want to see. They're trying to win here at Allen Fieldhouse in their first ever visit to this historic venue.
You know, a little bit unfortunate because a good offense. They got 2 good looks right around the rim. It just turned into a block shot. And then poor transition defense by UCF. Allows an and one in transition.
First free throw miss in 5 attempts for Adams, who has 6 points. 4-point lead. Hall open, turning, shooting, knocking it down. Mikey Williams, the Redford freshman from San Diego, his first bucket of the game.
And Kansas being really aggressive with Hall, going to double team him immediately, even out at 15 feet. And he's turned himself into a passer. That's just good offense, smart offense.
Coit. Adams from 14. Chom just bounced it towards the sideline, and Coleman tracks it down for the Knights.
If I'm UCF right now, I'm going right back to Hall inside. Get him a post touch.
Adams picks up the Kansas foul, his second. Timeout. We're under 12 to play at the Fieldhouse. Kansas down 6. Knights with 11:43 to go. UCF ball out of the timeout.
And the things UCF are doing right now, it's more and more aggressive. We've seen a little bit of the diamond press where they're more aggressive offensively. They're attacking the rim just a bit more and getting some post-ups for Hall. Their mindset is not casual. It's not passive.
Here's Williams with a spin. Lost the handle on it. You say it was touched by Kansas last. Hoyt got a hand on that. Johnson tried to get it to Chom, but threw it right on the foot of Dickinson.
These are the out-of-bounds plays, you know, in shoot-arounds. Coaches are talking about these, working on these over and over. So it's nothing new for Kansas. They understand what's coming.
Johnson, step back, long two, almost banked it in. Johnson was wanting a foul on some contact, but here comes Kansas. Mayo back to KJ. Adams. Coit, three on the way.
What a great possession. Ball got to multiple sides of the floor. Great ball movement, great player movement. That's the kind of possession they need more of. There was less standing and more movement.
Third made three for Diggy Coit. It's a one-possession game. Johnson loses the handle, but a KJ foul. Nope. That'll be the call. Now, where are we going to get this here?
And KU right now, their friend is ball movement. Their friend is player movement. Ball goes from one side of the floor to the next. The ball's hopping. Great pace offensively. Ends up being three sides of the floor. Inside to out. Three-point shot. That's as good as it gets.
The Kansas foul was on Adams, his third. Three, Mikey Williams. Long rebound to Coit. Coming up on the midway point of this second half. Griffin. Adams. They're going to say that's a goaltend on Chom and count it.
All right, last couple of possessions. Adams is making the play. Gets to the paint as an assist. Gets to the basket right there. They may be on to something right now. The old vet getting the ball.
1 point game. The crowd's back into it in Lawrence.
Right now, Hall's in the post. A little piston action right there.
Jumper up off the glass. Chom cleans it up for the Knights. 13 for Mustafa.
That's the way to quiet the crowd down right now. Limit their runs. For UCF, that's a really important part. Can't get into 6-0, 8-0 runs for Kansas.
Mayo. Kansas has now hit 5 of their last 6 from the field. We're back to a 1-point game.
And every possession on offense for Kansas is hitting the paint. They're attacking.
Johnny Dawkins was wanting a timeout. That ball kicks off. And here comes Coit. Deep three, Mayo for the lead. And now they're going to get a timeout for UCF.
Maintain aggression. You can't get passive. You can't get back on your heels and hope. Keep going at him. Going straight to Hall right now.
UCF started the second half hitting their first 3 threes. They've hit just 1 of 6 since then.
There's a real focus right now getting the ball to Hall, but they're fighting like crazy inside, keeping him out of his hands.
Chom has to put it up. As the shot clock was winding down, Mayo lost it. And Darius Johnson could not take advantage.
That was a golden opportunity right there. Adams was in the post on a mismatch, and then Central Florida now picks up accordingly.
Coit in and out. A Badunga rebound. And then Darius Johnson aggressively trying to knock it away. Picks up the foul.
UCF just needs to regroup a little bit. They've been playing great. Can't get frustrated with things.
First foul on Darius Johnson.
They were aggressive with Bidunga right there. He shoots almost 80% from the field, so they know when he touches it inside, they need to be aggressive because he makes almost every one.
Mayo leans in. Here comes Hall. A lot of times he likes to take this right to the rim. He does so, but it's blocked away by Bidunga. Up ahead, Adams. That's going to be another goaltend on Cham. And if that holds, it's going to be the first Kansas lead since they were up 38-37 with about 3 minutes left in the first half.
I tell you what, the first 30 minutes of this game, I would label it a finesse game. You know, both teams settling a little bit from the outside. The last 2 minutes, this has turned into a physical, get inside and be tough kind of a game.
8 minutes to go. They get it to Hall. Cham, 3. UCF now just 1 for their last 9 from beyond the arc.
And I don't think they're going to shy away from the threes, but that offensive possession was good. It got the ball inside and out.
It was an open look for Cham. Coit sees a little daylight. A dozen off the bench for Diggy Coit. Timeout UCF.
The field house is rocking. Kansas grabs the lead by 4.
Previous call of goaltending has been confirmed.
Kansas offense. To unlock everything, you have to get paint touches. Going downhill, Adams all the way into the paint, kicks it out for a 3. But once you get to the paint, the defense is going to suck in because Kansas is so good at finishing at the rim. But finding ways to get downhill, get clean looks inside the 2-point line. These last 7:24, expect Kansas to continue to threaten the paint.
Jayhawks in a 7-0 run the last 2:21, a 12-2 run over the last 3.5 minutes. And it's been a little over 2.5 minutes since UCF has scored. Here's Hall. Foul going to the rim. So out of the timeout for UCF, they get the ball in the hand of their top scorer. He's going to go to the line.
Yeah, smart play. Clearing out the entire side, a set backdoor play. Nicely executed, getting him to the free throw line.
Second foul on Bidunga.
Kansas is really doing a nice job making things tough on Hall right now. I think UCF definitely has an intent to get his touches, whether it's inside or out. And maybe some set plays like that back door. We'll see more of those. But both teams understand Hall is a real key on this end of the floor.
And he's 7 of 7 from the line. About 23 points. Right back down to a 2-point game in Lawrence with just over 7 minutes to go.
Okay, haven't seen this. So we're back into a zone now. A soft 2-2-1 back into a zone. They couldn't end up matching up, and then they match up after a couple passes.
Mayo, ball fake, shot, kickoff, no good, and out with it is Jordan Ivy Curry. Hall. Blocking foul is the call on Griffin.
The new world of college basketball. You have to be there so early, be so set. Offensively, Hall smart right here, being aggressive, putting his head down. It's the right call in the new day and age of college basketball. Such an advantage going with the offense.
Second foul on Griffin. Hall right back at the line. We're getting 7 of 7. But this is a 1-and-1. After the 8th Kansas team foul. Hall stays perfect from the stripe. UCF 11 of 12 as a team from the line. Bill Self's team 16 of 19. to the line. Keyshawn Hall's 2 free throws tie this game at 71. All of Hall's second half points have come from the line, all 8.
A zone look for just a second. If it goes like last time, they'll get into a man in just a little bit here and match up.
There's Griffin recovering. Ivy Curry with a block. Ivy Curry nearly walked there.
Hall is open on the weak side.
He's begging for the ball. Debo gets it to him. Hall 3. Tipped around, going out of bounds. Kansas ball.
Great hustle. I think Hall got too excited, jumping up and down for so long, and he did catch him, was open, but rushed the shot once he got it.
We're talking to our officiating crew. We got Randy McCall, Greg Nixon, Brooks Wells tonight. Officiating here in Lawrence. And they've had to call a game that, as you mentioned, Jared, has gotten a lot more physical here in the second half.
It really has.
Mayo, fade away. Badunga. Flory Badunga, and his development has been a godsend for Kansas.
No question. Such a good offensive rebounder. Great touch.
Hall that time got it. He was following his own shot, thinking he might have missed it, but he drained it and gives UCF a 1-point lead.
With the answer, Hall. I mean, I just don't know why you wouldn't let him touch the basketball every time down.
Griffin cannot answer for Kansas. Dickinson had it knocked out of his hands and fouled in the process.
Kansas inside, rebounding the basketball. Look these last 5-6 minutes for offensive rebounds. And on the other end, a miscommunication in transition. Hall with a wide open shot. I think what you're going to see, Kansas, is the physicality inside. They are going to crash like crazy on the offensive boards, and they're going to try and find ways to do their damage inside. And if it's not the first shot, it's got to be the second shot. UCF is going to have to fight like crazy to box out and then chase to get those defensive boards.
Hunter Dickinson, who averages 16 a game, has 17 now tonight, and a 1-point lead for Kansas. A 12th lead change of this game that has gone back and forth in the Big 12. Did he step out? Travel first.
Johnson's looking for the bailout right there, and he was just a little bit too aggressive. Got off balance.
Coming up on the 5-minute mark. Griffin somehow threaded that pass to Dickinson, who slams it home.
Love that play. A set play. Dickinson's at the free throw line. A rear screen, a timely pass, and an easy finish for Dickinson.
Johnson finds Hall and 1. And Kansas' defense looking like, hey, how did we forget about Keyshawn Hall again in the lane?
I mean, just answer after answer. Little ball screen, a roll to the basket, wide open. Help side doesn't suck in because everybody's worried about the three-point shot.
Third foul on Griffin. He joins Adams with 3 fouls for Kansas. A number of players with 2 fouls for UCF, but none with 3, so no immediate foul danger there with under 5 minutes to play.
And Griffin was nervous to overhelp and get all the way in there because of the three-point shooting right now. So at this point, UCF has Kansas spread out, and now they're able to pick them apart inside some.
Griffin getting to the rim. Able to get a step on Coleman. Here's Hall. They got the ball in the hands of who they want for the Knights. He's going to dribble in on Dickinson, give it up to Cham, who got it over Badunga and drops it home. He has 15.
Kansas can't settle. They have to continue to get to the paint. They're having a ton of success when they do get it inside.
Dickinson gives it back to Zeke Mayo. He gives it back to Dickinson, who drops that in and gives Kansas back the 2-point lead, 21 for Hunter.
And that's the exact pick and roll we showed earlier in the game.
There's Cham. He has it blocked by Badunga. Timeout. It may come down to who has the ball last tonight in Lawrence. Right now with 3:42 to play, 11th ranked Kansas up 81-79 on UCF.
What a difference the half made. In the first half, Kansas only had 12 points in the paint. Already in the second half, 22. They made a conscious effort, and a lot of different players. Guards, bigs, finding ways to get the ball inside. Some of those have also been offensive rebounds. I don't think that theme changes as we go down the stretch here.
What a game we've had. 7 ties, 12 lead changes. UCF's led by as many as 9, KU by 6. Kansas playing without DeJuan Harris. That certainly, Jared, had a major impact offensively for Kansas in the first half. They seem to have found a better flow offensively as the second half has gone on.
Yeah, a little bit better rhythm, a little bit, better plan of attacking inside first. In the first half, I thought, and they were making a lot of shots, but there were kind of some early threes, and when it didn't start falling, it was a little bit, again, like we've mentioned, out of rhythm. The second half, I think there's a little bit more purpose to what they're doing, and that purpose is getting the ball inside.
No DeJuan Harris for Kansas tonight. By the way, for UCF, bench player J.J. Taylor not playing tonight due to illness. That's the only man down for the Knights. Hall. You're not shy about shooting it from there, but Dunga has the defense, spin, turning, shooting, it rolled off. The ball's out of bounds to Kansas, and Hall jumping up and down, disagreeing with the call from baseline official Brooke Twelves.
Not under 2 minutes, so we can't look at it. Hall, I really like the play. He was thinking about the three-point shot, but with the length on him, tried to drive. It was the right play, just didn't quite get the finish.
And they called a foul on that play. I guess that's what Hall was upset about. They called him for his second personal. Look at that defense for UCF. They varied it up here in the second half.
Yeah, different looks. And right now they're sticking with this zone, not changing in the middle of possession.
Mayo trying to find the soft spot. Dickinson. Kicked out. Grabbed by Badunga, who has his second career double-double tonight. A Mayo 3.
Really good possession, offensive rebounds, getting the ball inside. It doesn't matter what defense UCF is in. They need to understand, get it inside. When it comes back out, knock it in.
20 for Mayo. Johnson misses the 3, but a long rebound out to Coleman keeps the possession alive for the Knights. Ivy Curry. Cham, long 2, got it. And the big man has hit some key shots for them tonight. He has 17.
Cham has been really, really good. You talk about somebody with a high upside. He is a good-looking prospect, and it's not just a prospect. He's really good right now.
And won't turn 19 until next month.
So this zone defense now, they've been running some, and they were evolving into a man. I think they're sticking with the zone a little bit longer now.
Short on the three. Dickinson, it's batted around, going out of bounds. No, Griffin touched it last. It's UCF ball. Griffin took one last stab at it along the sideline and couldn't grab possession.
And what often happens when you play zone? The other teams tend to settle and shoot threes.
Quickly up to Hall, who drives and scores. Kansas caught napping there. And a quick inbounds and up the floor to Hall, and he's going to have a chance to tie this game.
Well, there's been a variety of things that would frustrate Coach Bill Self, but that right there, not being ready after a dead ball situation, one pass into a layup and an and one, that's a tough pill to swallow.
33 for Hall, who had a 40-point game at Arizona State on January 14th. Now we're tied. Under 2 minutes to go in Lawrence. 84 all.
So if UCF stays in this zone through this entire possession, let's look and see if Kansas can get the ball to the free throw line or get to the ball to the inside. They're an excellent.
A long lob. Looking for Badunga. He's down. Cham is down. Both get to their feet, and they're going to take a look at this. I should say that was KJ who was down, and now they're going to go to the monitor, see if there was a hit to the head.
At first glance, looks like a lot of incidental contact, but it was really a nice play design for Kansas. They knew it was going to be a zone. Just the pass needs to be on time and on target, and it was a little bit off, and then there's just collisions and arms and elbows everywhere.
So Randy McCall, Greg Nixon go to take a look at this. And Dickinson battling there with Cham. As that lob came for KJ, and Adams fell down and took out Cham in the process.
That was a good old-fashioned scrum.
It was. As the physicality here in the second half just keeps getting ratcheted up.
It's been really cool. I mean, when it's winning time, you know, and all the pretty basketball and easy basketball, all that's out the window right now. This has turned into a game of toughness, and both teams working to find ways to finish with those tough plays.
And Jared, we're not quite to the midway point of conference play here in the Big 12. This is game 9 of 20. So much riding on this game. UCF right now is the last team in. A win in Lawrence would be a huge resume builder for them. And for Kansas, they're trying to avoid back-to-back home losses for the first time in the Bill Self era and the first time since 1989 in Kansas history. And UCF trying to win their first ever visit to Allen Fieldhouse.
You're exactly right. The implications of this game are immense.
On the floor stands. It's a common foul.
The officials have sorted it out right now. We'll get back to play. But like you mentioned, this is a game with you know, kind of a variety of results that can come from it. And for UCF, boy, a resume builder at the highest level if they can find a way to score a few more points and get the win.
And if they were to get the win here, both UCF and Kansas would be 5-4 in conference play.
Unbelievable. Look, this league is just, it is tough, tough, tough. Home or away, there are so many good teams, and everybody realizes you cannot take a night off, and you're going to have to come with your A game if you want to win.
1-1. Dickinson hits the front end. It was called a common foul on Cham, which was the 17th foul against the Knights. Putting Dickinson at the line. He hits both.
I'd be shocked if Hall does not get the basketball some way, somehow, inside the three-point line.
A totally different game than these two played in Orlando.
Wouldn't be surprised with a ball screen and a pop, looking to drive the basketball.
And they get it to Hall. He wants it back. Faces up on KJ Adams. Hall, baseline floater, short. They had it in the hands of their scorer, Jared, and he went one-on-one.
Yeah, and I don't mind the play. You know, the difference is Kansas in the first half would go double him right away, and they played him one-on-one, which turned him into a scorer, not a passer.
Dickinson, Adams, Mayo, 3. Long rebound, Adams, back to Hunter. Spin move, baseline, hit the side of the backboard, but was fouled by Cham, and that's number 4 on Mustafa.
Fantastic offensive possession late game when you need your best. You saw in full display their bigs and how good they are at passing the basketball. Ball went inside out. They end up getting to the free throw line. That's a really solid possession when they needed it most.
Yeah, really impressive ball movement, especially after the offensive rebound for Kansas.
You know, with Harris out, you know, it's again the flow in the field. Kansas is a team. It's a high assist team. It's a team that's used to player movement and ball movement and working as a team and a group.
Under a minute to go. Hall talking to our official Randy McCall. Dickinson's going to be at the line. 2 shots for Hunter. 56.5 seconds to play in regulation.
You know, UCF in this situation right now, it's not an issue of do you need a 3 or do you need a 2. You need to score, but I would think they would love to score in the first 10 seconds to guarantee they're going to get the ball back. So if they go score, stop, score, they could win the game outright without having to foul.
That keeps it a 1-possession game. Big possession for UCF. Johnson gets in the lane, goes up, got his own miss. Third chance, got it. 3 chances there for Darius Johnson. Timeout UCF. 3 opportunities for their senior leader to make it a 1-point game.
Both teams making plays right now. Offensive rebounds, physicality, that has been a theme. UCF offensive rebounds right there. Kansas not pursuing the basketball as much as they should. All right, late game situation. And then this last 10 minutes has turned into a man's game, a physical game of just trying to be as tough as you can.
Kansas fan base that was left in utter shock and disbelief here on Saturday, dealing with another nail biter on this Tuesday night.
And on that picture, we saw the shirt that said "No place like home." And for Kansas, they are hoping right now that Allen Fieldhouse and the magic here produces a great result one more time.
Here we go. 38 seconds left. 1-point game.
Coming off a loss right now, Kansas learning from everything from that game, put that in late game situations. That last offensive possession surely showed that.
Shot clock gets under 10. Game clock now at 15. Adams on Hall, turns, shoots off the left side. UCF ball. They got a chance to win it right here, perhaps. Hall ran into KJ. Adams steals, throws it up ahead. We get a stoppage with 4 seconds left. And Hall begging for a foul on his drive to the bucket. Jordan Ivy Curry picks up the UCF foul to stop it with 4 seconds to go.
I mean, what a dream scenario for UCF. They get the stop. They get it out in transition. They get it in their best player's hands. Got a little bit off balance right there. But I tell you what, 4.1 seconds. It's going to be a 1-possession game. A lot can still happen.
Yes, it can. And Kansas fans learned that on Saturday.
You know, this time of college basketball, there's so much action, so much fun. You saw yesterday, Arizona, 55-foot shot, sending it to overtime.
Well, Kansas fans probably don't want the reminder, but this is what went down in the first overtime. Malik Wilson on the steal hits the 3 to tie it and send it to a second OT, which Houston won into overtimes. And a stunned team, a stunned crowd after Houston won at 92-86 in 2 overtimes. First time that Kansas had lost at Allen Fieldhouse in double overtime since they lost to K-State in double OT in 1958. Only the second time that's ever happened to them in this building.
You know, really interesting right now. When that kind of a loss, it stings. You know, you're a little bit shook. You're back in a similar type situation right now. Going to the free throw line. Adams need to go in with a great deal of confidence. And then with UCF, the best way to advance the basketball is by passing it if possible. You can certainly get the full length of the court in 4.6 if nobody turns you.
So for KJ, this is a 1-and-1. We talk about hitting the front, a big front end. Adams does with 4.6 seconds left. He has 11 points. KU has made a season-high 23 free throws. 3-point game, 4.6 left. Timeout. 4.6 left. Kansas, we just saw the replay of the end of the first overtime when Kansas did not foul Malik Wilson when they had a chance to do so, and he tied the game with a 3. Do you expect Kansas to foul here?
Yes, with an asterisk. All right. If with UCF, I would like to see them, or if they can, advance the ball to half court with a pass. And now you're in scoring range, and so Kansas has to be really careful when you foul. If the ball goes down and you know you can foul. Now, having said that, each coach has their own philosophy, so it's with Coach Self. I think historically this may not be a foul, and with 4.6 seconds, okay, let it ride. But I think if they can advance, UCF advance it with the pass, 20, 30 feet down the floor, 4.6 seconds is a lot of time.
Here's what neither head coach has, and that's a timeout. Both are out of timeouts. Kansas leading by 3, 4.6 seconds left. Possession arrow favors KU, something Kansas has done a lot better. We mentioned the offense has flowed better here in the second half, but it's the turnovers. They had 10 turnovers in the first half, just 2 here in the second half.
Absolutely. Value in the basketball. And the offense got more comfortable. They found the rhythm a little bit better, and keeping those turnovers down certainly has been a positive impact for them.
Deshaun Hall, 34 points tonight. He's made 5 threes. UCF has lived and died with the 3-ball tonight. Mostly lived with that 3-ball. They would love somehow to get a 3-point look here in the final 4.6 to try to send this to overtime.
It's kind of fitting. This game's going to come down to a 3-point shot by UCF to see if it advances to overtime. And the thing is, they have 5 shooters out there.
Here we go. 4.6 left in regulation. UCF ball down 3. Coleman's going to take it out. He can run the baseline. Kansas does not defend him. Into Johnson, into the front court. He's fouled. They're going to say on the floor, not shooting. And that is a massive decision there by the officiating crew. And they're going to look at this.
Really well-designed play, executed well.
Wow.
Looks like the shooting motion started, in my opinion.
Griffin. Johnny Dawkins thinks it's a shooting foul, obviously.
No question. And that's the problem. If you do try and foul, once you start getting in that scoring area, you need to make sure that dribble's occurring when you foul, not somebody going in a 3-point shot, and that can be the danger.
Darius Johnson is an 80% foul shooter on the year. He's 1 of 2 from the line tonight, but both teams have been great from the line. UCF is a team 14 of 15. Kansas is season high 23 at 27.
So they're looking at the clock right now to make sure the time is right.
Let's take a closer look. Is he in the motion of shooting? Griffin reaches, then he goes up. When you see it from that angle, are you so sure, Jared, that you think that's a shooting foul?
I think his intent and the shooting motion is going up, but at the same time, I think it's already been called. It's going to be on the sideline with whatever time they say. So it's going to be a side-out play right now, but this is something they've worked on many, many times. And honestly, they were out of timeouts, but this whole 30 seconds or more, minute or more, has turned into a timeout. So this should be a well-designed play coming in from half court.
Well, they are in the bonus.
That's okay.
Yes.
There we go.
2-shot foul, double bonus.
Yeah.
But with 3.1 seconds remaining. Fourth foul charged to Griffin. 3.1 left. Johnson at the line, who you would think needs to make the first. And do they purposely miss the second if they get that opportunity?
Yeah, I do believe that's make or miss. He's going to try and miss the second one. Now the difference is when you miss, you're not going to put a putback. You need to knock it out to Coleman. You need to knock it out to Ivy Curry. And so right now, this is just going to be a physical offensive rebound. Johnson needs to try and miss this so it has some kind of ricochet that gives UCS a chance.
And he hit it. He swished it, trying to miss the free throw. It's 89-87, Kansas ball. There's still 3.1 left, but Kansas has got to get the ball in. It's deja vu all over again.
It sure
from
is.
Saturday.
You know, have you learned your lesson? And the lesson to learn from this situation, they didn't maintain space. They also have Dickinson inbounding the ball with size right now, but inbounding the ball is a must, and there's going to be a foul immediately if they do.
Before Dickinson can even attempt to throw the ball in, they call it on Darius Johnson. So no time comes off the clock.
Not the worst case scenario right there.
Exactly, it's not. It is not, because they need, obviously, to Kansas miss at least one of these free throws.
A steal would have been option number one.
They're calling the hold on Darius Johnson there on Griffin.
You know, and I love the idea of Dickinson inbounding the basketball. It's something they probably talked about after the last game. They have a great deal of trust in him passing the basketball.
I should say that was Mayo, of course, who hits the free throw, makes it a three-point game, and here's a chance for Kansas to basically ice it here with 3.1 left from the line, up 3. Mayo's first free throw attempts of the game.
And that will probably do it.
It will not be deja vu all over again for Kansas. Johnson 3, 91-87. Kansas outlast UCF. And Bill Self's team